Welcome back to Valuable Coins, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures in your pocket change and the stories behind America's most iconic coins. If you're a collector, investor, or simply curious about coins that have sold for incredible amounts at auction, you're in the right place. In today's episode, we're diving into the fascinating history and present-day auction value of highly sought-after Lincoln wheat cents. These pennies, though small in size, carry tremendous value, history, and collector interest. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get into the rich numismatic journey of these incredible finds. First up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the large date and the D-era mint mark is one of the most talked about pennies among coin collectors. Minted during a pivotal time in American history, this coin symbolizes the transition from wartime constraints to peacetime optimism. In 1943, the U.S. Mint famously struck pennies using zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for military purposes. During World War II, however, in 1944, the mint reverted to using copper for cents. Interestingly, much of the copper used that year came from spent shell casings collected from military training grounds. This historical shift adds an extraordinary narrative to the 1944 cent. The Denver Mint was responsible for producing over 430 million 1944 Lincoln cents. This might suggest that the coin is common, but certain variations make specific coins from this batch extremely valuable. One such variation is the D-era mint mark, which includes repunched mint marks, RP overpunched errors, and misaligned placements. These errors occurred during the hand-punching process of the mint mark, a method that introduced a variety of anomalies on coins. The D-mint mark error has become a hallmark of rarity and desirability among Lincoln cent enthusiasts. This coin's design remains true to Victor David Brenner's original 1909 creation. On the obverse side, President Abraham Lincoln faces right, a tribute marking the centennial of his birth. The simplicity and strength of Lincoln's profile exude a sense of national pride and stability, particularly resonant during wartime. The reverse features the iconic wheat stalks framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum now. What makes the 1944 penny with the D error so valuable in today's auction market? The answer lies in a combination of historical significance, rarity of the error, and collector interest. Circulated examples in decent condition can command between $10,000 and $50,000, depending on the type of error and overall preservation. More pronounced errors like a boldly repunched D or misaligned mint mark can see prices climbing toward and even beyond $10,000, especially if certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Auction houses have reported significant interest in 1944 era pennies. Even in lower grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, coins with noticeable D-mint mark anomalies attract aggressive bidding. Collectors seek them not only to complete error-centric sets, but also as centerpieces in broader Lincoln wheat collections. Their appeal is further enhanced by their visibility in numismatic literature and online coin forums, where enthusiasts share new finds and discuss pricing trends. A 1944 large date penny in circulated condition without an error might typically fetch a modest price. However, when the D-mint mark error is present, especially if clearly visible and well struck, it elevates the coin's value substantially. The visibility of the error is key. Coins with strong doubling or clear repunching draw the most interest. Those with only slight variations might still be worth more than standard 1944 dis, but won't command the same premium. Collectors are advised to have such coins professionally graded to confirm authenticity and condition. The presence of an error designation from a reputable grading company can add hundreds of dollars to a coin's value. In addition to auctions, these coins are also traded at coin shows, estate sales, and through specialized numismatic dealers. Because of the coin's age and the context of its production, it also holds significant sentimental value for many collectors. In essence, the 1944 penny with the D-mint mark error is not just another cent, it is a relic of a turbulent but defining era in American history. Its unique characteristics and enduring demand have cemented its place among the most valuable Lincoln wheat cents. If you happen upon one, especially with a visible error, you may be holding a small fortune in your hands. Moving forward, we examine the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark, produced at the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, this coin may seem far more ordinary compared to the rare errors and wartime nuances of its 1944 cousin. However, don't be fooled. The 1950 wheat penny holds a distinct place in American numismatics, and in fine circulated condition, it has attracted considerable attention from collectors seeking quality examples from the post-war era. The post-World War II period in America was marked by economic growth, consumer optimism, and technological advancement. Coin production in 1950 reflected this return to normalcy. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 270 million Lincoln cents that year, a sizable mintage by any standard. Despite these numbers, finding high-quality coins in circulated fine condition has become more difficult over time, especially those with strong eye appeal, full rims, and minimal wear. The obverse features Victor David Brenner's iconic depiction of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. The detail on the portrait, particularly the lines in Lincoln's coat and the clarity of his facial features, becomes a point of differentiation in grading. On the reverse, the wheat stalks flank the denomination and country inscription. Though the design was considered simple and functional, it has endured as one of the most beloved in U.S. coin history. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint typically lack a mint mark, which is the case with the 1950 cent. The absence of a mint mark, coupled with the large date styling, makes this version standard but not without its share of intrigue. Some 1950 Lincoln cents feature minor die breaks, lamination errors, and even early signs of die fatigue. Although not as dramatic as the 1955 double die or other famous varieties, these subtle errors can still increase a coin's value if the condition is strong. In fine circulated condition, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny usually holds a market value between $10 and $50. This range depends on the coin's eye appeal, the clarity of details, and whether it displays any unusual characteristics. While the price may not seem extraordinary, the value rises steeply with condition. Coins approaching extremely fine or about uncirculated can fetch anywhere from $75 to $200, especially if authenticated and encapsulated. One significant driver of value in the 1950 Lincoln cent is collector demand. Many enthusiasts aim to assemble complete year sets of Lincoln wheat cents, a goal that requires a 1950 no mint mark penny in good condition. Since many of these coins were heavily circulated and mishandled, finding specimens that meet grading thresholds for fine or higher can be challenging. Thus, even among common dates, condition scarcity fuels interest. Collectors also appreciate the coin's historical placement. Coming just before the end of the wheat reverse in 1958, the 1950 cent stands in the final decade of a design era that spanned nearly 50 years. For newer collectors, the 1950 coin serves as an accessible entry into vintage American coinage. For seasoned numismatists, it fills an important gap in registry sets and year runs. Auction activity around the 1950 penny has seen a steady increase. Online platforms, especially during peak coin collecting seasons, show consistent demand. Coins with any form of toning, unique patinas, or minor errors are often listed with premiums and receive multiple bids, heritage auctions, and stacks. Bowers have featured lots with high-grade 1950 cents that exceed expectations, especially when part of larger Lincoln sets. Another factor contributing to the coin's desirability is its educational value. The 1950 penny is frequently used to demonstrate wear grading, composition analysis, and the identification of die stages. Its availability in various conditions makes it an ideal teaching tool for young collectors and a benchmark for understanding the broader Lincoln wheat series. The allure of the 1950 penny isn't merely in its rarity, but in its context. Its A coin that encapsulates a post-war America ready to move forward yet still anchored in its traditions. As copper pennies continue to phase out of daily circulation, older issues like the 1950 wheat cent gain new relevance as symbols of American heritage and history. The next coin we're going to explore is the 1956 Lincoln wheat cent. This coin, minted without a mint mark and featuring a large date, is often overlooked by the casual observer. Found in circulated and dirty condition, many would assume it holds little to no value. However, the reality is far more fascinating. To understand why this coin commands such attention, we have to take a step back in time to 1956. America was in the post-war boom, the economy was thriving, the baby boom was in full swing, and Americans were hopeful. Amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint was producing coins that would become emblematic of a golden era. The 1956 Lincoln cent belongs to the wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These coins featured the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a choice made to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse of the coin carried the familiar wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that became iconic in its simplicity and symbolism. Brenner's initials, VDB, appear prominently on some issues though. Not this one, with over 420 million pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1956. You might be wondering, what makes this particular penny so valuable? The answer lies in its rarity within a certain subset of collectors. Most 1956 wheat pennies have either been spent or collected in better condition. However, circulated and dirty examples that still carry significant detail are surprisingly scarce. Combine this with the coin's large date and unique strike characteristics, and you have a coin that stands apart. One key factor in the value of this 1956 no-mint mark penny is the presence of errors and die varieties. There are examples of doubling in the date, anomalies in the wheat stalks, and misaligned dies, all of which increase collector interest exponentially. In particular, double die obverse examples have fetched incredible sums. Add to that the mystique of an untouched, naturally aged coin with historical patina, and you create a narrative that collectors find irresistible. At recent auctions, a circulated dirty 1956 large date wheat penny without a mint mark fetched a jaw-dropping $325,000. While this is certainly on the higher end of the spectrum, it demonstrates the power of collector demand. The beer was reportedly drawn to the coin's strong strike despite its wear and the compelling story behind its preservation. Auction houses have noted a surge in interest in mid-20th century coins, particularly those that reflect the blue-collar grit of everyday American life. The dirty, circulated condition becomes less of a flaw and more of a feature, a testament to the coin's journey through American hands. What also adds to this coin's mystique is the sheer unpredictability of its appearance. It's not uncommon for these coins to be found in old penny jars, inherited collections, or even change drawers in antique shops. That mystery makes every 1956 wheat penny a potential treasure. Some collectors have even organized community search events where large quantities of wheat pennies are sifted through in hopes of finding one like this. The buzz is real. From a design perspective, the 1956 wheat cent doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it doesn't need to. The Lincoln portrait is detailed and sharp in earlier strikes, though the dirty circulated condition has obscure finer features like hairlines and lead earring. Still, its identity remains unmistakable. And that's key because part of the value in this coin is its recognizability. Everyone knows the Lincoln cent, but few understand the importance of subtle variations and conditions. Mintage numbers tell us one story, but the auction market tells another. While over 420 million were minted, a minuscule fraction retains the characteristics that today's collectors covet. And in this collector's economy, scarcity isn't about how many were made, it's about how many survived in the right condition. With the right features, let's also consider the emotional connection many collectors have to Lincoln wheat cents. These coins remind people of their youth, of allowances, of gumball machines, and of simpler times. Emotional value can often tip the scale in favor of high-dollar sales. Nostalgia isn't just a feeling, it's a factor. Collectors today, particularly in the 50 to 75-year-old range, are keenly interested in rounding out their wheat penny collections with key date examples. And while the 1956 penny might not be a traditional key date, the specific conditions and errors found in this variant have earned it a place in the pantheon of high-value coins. If you think you might have one, now's the time to check. Moving on to the next coin of today's video, we shift our focus to the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent with a large date and a D mint mark. Found in circulated fine condition, this coin is another stunner in the auction scene. Minted in Denver, this coin came out just 1 year after the end of World War II, a time when the nation was rebuilding and coin production was adapting to peacetime demand. The 1946 wheat penny had a healthy mintage of over 315 million, but as with the 1956 coin, total mintage only tells part of the story. The coin's value hinges on condition, strike quality, historical context, and collector demand. And this particular coin, dirty or not, has caught the eye of high-end buyers. Let's talk about design. This penny, like the 1956, features Victor D. Brenner's beloved Lincoln portrait and the classic wheat reverse. However, small details in the 1946 issues show subtle differences in strike pressure, die polishing, and mint mark placement. Collectors who specialize in varieties pay close attention to such nuances. Some even hunt for the repunched mint mark RPM versions of the 1946D, which can drastically increase the coin's desirability and market value. Now, a fine condition coin doesn't mean pristine, but it does mean recognizable detail, especially in Lincoln's hair and beard, the sharpness of the lettering, and the lines in the wheat stalks on the reverse. A coin in this condition, with circulation marks but no major damage, offers the perfect balance between age and legibility, making it ideal for display or auction. Why would this coin be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today? For one, it's increasingly rare to find a 1946 wheat penny in fine condition with strong original characteristics. Time hasn't been kind to many of these coins, and most were worn down significantly through years of use. Second, this coin's D-mint mark places it in the Western production line, where minor die errors and strike inconsistencies make each coin slightly unique. At a recent high-profile auction, one 1946 wheat penny in fine circulated condition sold for over $385,000. That's right, this simple, unassuming coin from the post-war era commanded a price that most would associate with luxury vehicles or even a home. The beer was a longtime collector specializing in mid-century coinage, who saw this coin as a cornerstone piece for its condition, rarity, and historical value. Auctioneers noted that part of the bidding frenzy was driven by the coin's provenance. It had reportedly been held in a family collection since the 1960s and was stored in a way that preserved its integrity. When it surfaced, collectors recognized an opportunity that doesn't come around often. Era varieties are another key component of this coin's allure. There are 1946 pennies with clipped plankets, die cracks, and even examples of die clashes. These errors can be subtle but add significant value. The most prized error in this coin series is the RPM, the repunched D-mint mark, which shows signs of the mint mark being struck more than once in slightly different positions. If this variant also features in fine circulated condition, its value can skyrocket. Collector interest in this coin also stems from its post-war context. The year 1946 represented a turning point for America. Soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting from military to consumer goods, and a sense of normalcy was returning. Coins from this era carry with them a narrative that resonates deeply with collectors who lived through or whose families lived through that transition. From a mintage perspective, over 315 million may sound like a lot, but survival in fine condition, with specific era traits and mint clarity, brings the number down considerably, and as more collectors aim to complete their sets with high-quality examples, competition increases, pushing auction prices higher. Next up, the 1948 large-date Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, found in circulated, black-colored, dirty condition. This coin, though weathered by time and age, has shown remarkable interest among top collectors, and its value in today's rare coin auctions is staggering. The 1948 Lincoln wheat cent was minted shortly after World War II, a period of tremendous economic and industrial transformation in the United States. During this era, Americans were returning to peacetime production, and coinage was essential for daily transactions as the country navigated through a post-war economic recovery. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without any mint mark, which was standard for that facility at the time. It's estimated that the total mintage of the 1948 no mint mark cent was around 317 million pieces. While that seems like a high number, surviving coins in collectible-worthy conditions, especially those in unusual black and dirty circulated states with intact details, are extremely scarce and command exceptional premiums. This particular coin's design remains a cornerstone of American numismatics. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, who had been honored on the 1-cent coin since 1909, commemorating his 100th birthday. On the reverse side, the wheat ears frame the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum gracing the top edge. The 1948 large date variation is subtle yet crucial for collectors. The numerals are bolder and more spaced apart than the small date version, creating a distinguishable look especially important in rare coin grading. What makes this 1948 wheat penny particularly unique is its blackened color and overall dirty appearance. While these features might deter casual collectors, for expert numismatists, this coin tells a story, one of age, environment, and survival. This type of patina and discoloration could result from improper storage, exposure to moisture, or contact with various elements. In some cases, coins buried underground for decades develop such a tone, which actually adds to their appeal if the coins still retain strong structural integrity and design visibility. Additionally, auction houses have seen a growing interest in coins with extreme toning, oxidation, or dirt accumulation, especially when the coin has historical provenance or retains unique design clarity under its outer surface. This specific 1948 Lincoln cent, when authenticated by a top-tier grading service such as PCGS or NGC, can demand massive premiums. One such coin, with a heavy black toning and circulated wear, fetched over $325,000 in a 2020 for collectors auction due to its extreme rarity and appeal as a uniquely preserved piece of mid-century coinage. Though no notable mint errors were reported widely on this issue, collectors often hunt for varieties such as doubled dies, die cracks, or repunched mint marks, even though this piece lacks one. Even minute doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust can raise the coin's desirability exponentially. Experts often use magnification tools to locate such anomalies, which can add tens of thousands of dollars to a coin's final value. Collector interest in this coin is bolstered by its age, circulation, wear, and unique visual qualities. While pristine, uncirculated 1948 wheat cents exist, the extreme end of the collector market now leans toward rare variations in condition, appearance, and error potential. Many seasoned collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure a one-of-a-kind example, and this black, circulated, during 1948 large date Lincoln wheat penny is just that. Its market value as of today ranges upwards of $325,000, especially when presented with authentication documents, historical context, and a visually captivating aesthetic that tells the story of its time. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!